All right, welcome out to the Lone Star Gridiron Scoreboard Show. I'm Chris Daly, and if I can get this graphic turned off, I will introduce our co-hosts. Hey, how's it going? We have Brett and Corey here.
What's
Well,
going
no,
on?
Chris.
Cool. You ready to talk some Texas high school football?
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, before we do, I'm going to run a quick little spot here, um, and I want to mention the Black Friday sale that is still going on. I know it's not Black Friday right now, it is Saturday, but it's going on through the weekend. Any of the base games, Saturday Legends, Friday Night Legends, Basketball Legends, they're all available 50% off if you go to boardgamelegends.com. Use the code BF22 and you'll get it for 50% off. And just so you know, if you haven't heard, Friday Night Legends is high school football. You can play historically great high school football teams against each other based on their real stats. So you can play 83 Dangerfield against Johnny Manziel's Kerrville Tivy team. You can play this year's Chapel Hill team against Gilmer and replay that game if you want to. Saturday Legends is the same thing for college football. Some of the all-time great college football teams. Basketball Legends does that for every level of basketball: high school, college, pro, women's, Olympic. We've got teams for everybody. Our library has over 2,000 teams. So any sport you want to play, and if you want to play with real teams, you can do it with Board Game Legends. That's boardgamelegends.com. 50% off, code BF22. And now, what you're all ready to hear, let's talk Texas high school football.
I want to replay that game, Chris.
Let's do it.
That Gilmer Chapel Hill game. I want to replay that one. I think it'll be a
Yeah,
little
you want
different.
to not have all those turnovers, right?
Yeah, I think it might be a little different now.
Right.
There you go. There you go. Well, guys, where were y'all this week so far?
I was in actually the Houston area for Chapel Hill and Lumberton. Oh man, it was a great game. We had a little pregame show. Corey and I talked about things that we saw, and a lot of it came to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Chapel Hill's offense versus Lumberton's defense. It was kind of a tale of the tape. Lumberton was averaging, I think, around 10 points a game on defense. Chapel Hill's high-powered offense averaging 40 plus, and it was a tale of two halves in that one. Hopefully, Vince will be able to join us. If not, I mean, he was able to go out to a couple of games this week.
Nice.
He picked up the Rose Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium doubleheader, where he saw Kilgore and Lindale square off in a matchup there. We'll have another one of those matchups at Rose Stadium again this week with Chapel Hill and Kilgore. And then he also got to see Cooper, an impressive win over Joaquin. So if he's able to come in and join us, he can give us some insight. Corey, what games did you watch? Any games other than
I caught some highlights. I caught some highlights of Malakoff and the West game, and of course some Timpson, Centerville game. So that's another matchup we got coming out. So I just want to piggyback on the Chapel Hill game too. Shout out to Lumberton, great season, very good football team, very well coached football team. One of the better games you could have seen on TV or live. Tale of two halves, just like you said. Some big football matchups in Division One Class 4A. So it's going to be a good
Nice.
week.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, Brett, why don't we jump into 2AD2?
All right, let's start it.
Scores.
All right, let's start Region 1. We got Vega getting knocked off by Wellington 26-7, and New Home with the win over Clareton 14-8. So that sets up a regional final of Wellington and New Home, two district champions there in Region 1.
Yeah, and that game is set for 7 p.m. Friday at Canyon's Happy State Bank Stadium.
It's a new stadium, isn't it?
I haven't heard of it, so I'm guessing, or it got renamed.
Yeah, somebody donated some money and they
Right.
decided to rename it,
Right.
Corey, you want to snag Region 2 there?
Yes, absolutely. So we have one of my favorite names, Wink, versus Albany. They're playing today at 3 p.m., so we'll get an update there after the show's over pretty much.
Yeah.
Collinsville versus, look, this is Winthrop. They got a win over them 32 to 28. So Collinsville staring right at the winner of Wink and Albany. So we'll see who's going to come in and get that win and play against Collinsville.
See, we've got a chat here. We've got Let's Go Edna Cowboys from Amy. Welcome, Amy. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to input in our chat anytime you have something to say. We appreciate you for joining us today. Let's go. I'll go up and do Region 3. We've got Bowie and Mart all over Bowie, 58-0. Yeah. That's going to set up a clash with Lovelady as Lovelady knocks off our Carlisle Indians 32-21. And I did pick that game, and Lovelady over Carlisle. I just thought I knew Carlisle. We've been riding them all year, but I thought they'd kind of gotten to where just they didn't have enough firepower to get past Lovelady, and that'll set up an interesting matchup. I think Mart's going to be the heavy favorite, obviously.
Yes,
but Lovelady, I think they can give them a little bit better game.
Magical year by the Lions of Lovelady, the magical run.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Aiken down there.
Yeah. So, Lovelady's got a good baseball program, and next thing you know, boom, they're playing good football. So, but I don't think they're Mart competitive. So,
well, I think they'll give them a better. Like right now, you've got Mart. They've won 67-14, 77-7, and 58-0. I think it'll be a closer contest than that. I think Lovelady may not have enough to stay with them, but maybe they keep it within 2 or 3 touchdowns, maybe.
Right.
I agree with
that. All right, Chris, you want to grab Region 4 down there?
Yeah, Region 4, Burton knocks off Chilton in a defensive struggle 7-0. Granger all over Falls City 35-15. I was expecting more out of Falls City, but Granger's a solid program. That sets up Burton sitting at 12-0 against Granger. 7 p.m. Friday at Bastrop's Memorial Stadium. That's a really nice stadium too. It's a weird little road to get to it. Traffic is horrible, but it's a gorgeous stadium.
Yeah, that was an interesting matchup there because you had like the winners at the top and the runners up down at the bottom. So you expect Burton to probably win just because they're coming out of the winner of that district, Chris?
Oh, well, again, I don't know that that's a good strategy for picking your winner.
Hey, if you don't, that's just me. I'm not knowing the teams.
Right.
If you come out as your winner and your champion wins, and then your runner up gets beat by the other one.
Right. But again, it depends on the district because some of those districts, the runner ups are much tougher than the other ones they're playing. You saw several districts last week sweep, all the games. So
that's true. It's true. We got Chris with us. Thanks for joining us, Chris. Shout out to Christian and those Bulldogs last night. That comeback win.
What's going on, Chris?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think Mart is your kind of favorite right now.
I think so.
In this particular bracket. We've got another comment here. We've got them Gunther Tigers are legit from Jay Brumett. So thanks for joining us today, Jay. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I tell you, I guess it's always a question. If this were a drinking game, it would be how long until Chris says to be the man, you got to beat the man. And that's Mart Panthers.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that one bit.
Right. I pretty much say that in every show, though.
Hey, that's the thing. We'll talk about it later. But the South Oak Cliff game, I got to watch a little bit of that online, and they just keep winning.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else on this one? Yeah, let's go D1.
Do it.
All right, D1. We've got in Region 1, we've got Cisco over New Deal 33-14. And then we've got a game that's going to be played tonight. Sonora Hawley. I'm assuming that game was moved because of the weather. Had several of those games that were moved. Maybe getting some snow over there in the west part of the state. So, so Sonora Hawley played tonight. Will take on winner of that game will take on Cisco in the Region 1 finals there.
Yeah, I would love to see Holly Cisco. I think that would be a great matchup.
That would
Right.
be a district rematch there.
Nice.
So it'll be an interesting one. Corey, you want to grab the Region 2?
Oh yeah, for sure. So we got Toller 63 to 7 over Hamilton. That was played in the Crawley ISD multiple purpose stadium there. And then we have Rizzo taking the L to Crawford 41 to 3. So we got a Toller and Crawford matchup going into the regionals there. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. Toller, listen, 61, 71, 63, what they're averaging 65 points, 66 points.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they putting up basketball numbers for the playoffs. I don't know who's going to stop them. But Crawford, they put up, 66, 34, 41. So,
Their
two high
defense,
teams.
Crawford's defense is not allowing a whole lot of points. Looks like they've allowed 23 points in 3 games. So something's got to give there.
First one to 50 wins, or,
Right.
something like that. So, I'm anxious to see. I bet it's going to be a basketball score like 66 to 52. So,
But and no offense to the left side of the bracket, but I think, my opinion, the state champion comes from the right side of the bracket in this
yeah.
particular classification. We've got Region 3. We've got Cooper with a big win over Joaquin, 33 to 11. And they're going to set up a matchup, which is going to be a tasty, undefeated matchup with Timpson, as Timpson's all over Centerville, 41 to 14. I thought that might be a little bit closer game, as Centerville's been
Mhm.
playing well as of late. But Terry Bussey and them boys, they continue to roll. And Cooper Timpson at Lindale Eagles Stadium
Right.
next Friday night, 7 p.m. That's going to be a good one to be at.
Nice.
Yes, Cooper talked to Vince a little bit. Cooper has got some big line. They got some size on them. So we'll see if speed versus size, which one can prevail there. And if either one of those teams can get out of that matchup unscathed, Chris, they're going to have a tough one down below in Region 4.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Region 4, Shiner all over Flatonia, 45 to 7. Refurio put it on Ganado, 53 to 7. So again, both score a bunch. They give up very little. They're also both in the same district. They also matched up during the season, and then that one, Refurio won 38 to 27. So relatively low scoring, relatively close game. I think you're going to see the same exact thing. A couple bounces is going to determine that game, and it could go either way. That one's going to be just amazing. But again, like you said, I think the winner of this region is going to come out of there.
Yeah, it's going to be this side of the bracket. It's going to set up either, we think Timpson is the favorite coming out of Region 3. Shiner Refurio, that's just another classic. So it's just this. You're going to be battle tested if you come out of this right side of the bracket for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
I like Timpson.
Yeah, I do too. We'll see. They've been their stepping their stall spot. That last couple of years is right there in that semifinal. So we'll see if they've got enough firepower this year to get by either Refurio or Shiner.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Refurio has just an amazing line. They're all super young, but they figured it out and they're pushing people around. Shiner's got Dalton Brooks, and nobody's figured out a way to stop him. If he gets 150 yards, that's slowing him down. But that's all you can count on.
Yeah, the main difference with them is they don't have the power, the Doug Brooks power back, and I think that's the difference this year. They don't have that to kind of change up the pace. So,
yeah, if you saw that state game last year, anytime they played last year, Dalton was just a ramrod, just knocking people over, a bowling pin, and then Dalton would come in and he would be free because they were keying so much on Doug. So, and I thought, oh no, with Doug graduating, Dalton's going to be, have some trouble, but he hasn't. He just keeps running.
Yeah, just find that open space.
Find ways to
All right.
win. That's where you're at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This is somebody else going for Edna Cowboys.
Yeah. And some Gunter Tigers.
I see it.
Good to see
right now.
some different schools in here today. We appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Anything else y'all want to say about the 2A Division 1 before we move on? Oh, we got a comment.
Nice.
Neutrofield Shiner beats Refurio. That's what David says here.
Okay.
It's gonna be good.
It's going to be a neutral field.
It's gonna be a neutral field. It's gonna be a good one. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's what I said. You know, it was a tight game. 11 points is a very tight game, and it could easily have gone either way.
Keith says, "How about the Malakoff Tigers?" Absolutely, Keith.
Yeah, I've been singing it all year.
Keith, if you want to hear us talk more about Malakoff, we have a show every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. on the NetSN Live. Come find us. NetSN.live is our website, and we'll talk about Malakoff in detail this week. Corey and I have been talking about Malakoff all year, and we will be definitely talking about them this week in detail.
Sure.
So thanks for joining us today, Keith. We appreciate you.
Nice. You want to jump up 3A Division 2?
Let's do it. 3A Division 2, Region 1. We've got Wall all over Idalou, 30-0, and Canadian just dominates Spearman, 63-14.
Mm-hmm.
It sets up a Wall Canadian matchup at Lovett Cooper, 6 p.m. on Friday.
I tell you, this is a great rivalry. Even though Canadians, the team everybody remembers the most, they've often had this clash at this time in the playoffs, and Canadians always had just enough to get by them or easily beat them. But either way, they've hit each other at this level a lot. But I don't think Canadian's the Canadian we remember. They're great, don't get me wrong, but I think Wall has a good shot.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. We got Region 2, Corey.
Absolutely. Let's see. We got Bills taking the L to Holiday, 17-14. And then, of course, Gunter, surprise, surprise, over Palmer, 40-6. So then we got the Gunter Holiday matchup here coming up in Region 2. So I see all the representation of Gunter here in the chat. So hey, go Gunter.
Yeah, and that's going to be at Frisco's Ford Center Friday.
Nice. Need more indoor stadium. I'm getting
Right
jealous.
on.
They only have one. They only have one there and small enough. So why needs to build one in Central Texas?
All right, Region 3. Let's go up to Region 3. We've got this was one that Kyle had. He called the game from KMU, one of our colleagues. We had Harmony over West Russ, 38-35, and Harmony just keeps rolling.
Yeah,
they're gonna have their hands full coming up though, as their district mate Dangerfield dropped the game to Newton 16-12 in a defensive battle there, and we'll see if Harmony's just got enough to get by Newton. You know, Dangerfield played them close, and Harmony's been rolling, so it could be closer than everyone thinks.
This is one of my favorite regions here because they're all so close. Right. I mean, look at the scores in these two. It was 35-38, 16-12. Very tight. I expect this one to be similar. Newton's defense is going to slow down Harmony, but it's not going to stop them. I don't know. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good one. I think that that game's going to be – is it Marshall? I can't remember where that game was going to be.
Yeah, I don't have any info on when and where.
I feel like that game was posted, but I can't remember exactly. But it will be on the KMU Country app. Kyle Owens will be on the call. Shout out to Kyle. He's working today, but we appreciate everything he does. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say this Wednesday on our show about that game.
Disrespect he had to take.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
2 weeks
Harmony
in a row.
showed out 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. So, Chris, you want to grab Region 4?
Heck yeah. Region 4, Tidehaven continues to quietly roll. Again, I say quietly because nobody's talking about them, but they just keep winning here. This deep in the playoff, they're blanking somebody 47-0 over Brazos. Poth keeps winning, but everybody's expecting them to have a great season. They were beat Taft 55-13, setting up Tidehaven versus Poth Friday in San Marcos's Bobcat Stadium. Man, I tell you, that's going to be a good one. Preseason, I would have said Poth takes this. But in watching what I'm watching with Tidehaven this year, I don't know. Tidehaven could be a sleeper.
They've only allowed 15 points in 3 games. Tidehaven has, so that they got their offense is rolling, but so is the defense.
Yeah.
And if you can make stops in the playoffs, you can beat some people. So that's interesting. Poth is your name brand, but yeah, it's gonna be a good one. This I don't know if there's a real certain favorite in this particular bracket. Honestly, you could name 3 or 4 different teams, and anyone could be like, yeah, they could win it.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty open.
And I like it when that happens because I like getting new people at the state championships.
Exactly.
I don't want them all new every year. You like those stories, those traditions. You like those North Shores that show up all the darn time, But you also like it when, I haven't seen these guys around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always good.
That one team that had a magical run and they had a couple of upsets along the way. Then the entire community's out. That's the type of stuff that you like to see. It's almost like March Madness where the mid-major beats the high number 1. Those games are always good to watch. Love those games.
Nice. Well, we have Adam Sandoval joining in. How you doing, Adam?
What's going on, Adam?
I'm doing great.
Welcome, buddy. How's it going? Where were you last night?
Last night I really didn't want to face the cold weather here in Central Texas.
Oh, Adam. So I'm assuming at least you watched some games on TV, on like in FHS or on Texas Live or somewhere.
Yeah, I was keeping up with a lot of scores and close with the South Lake Carroll McKinney game and the Longview Port Arthur Memorial game, and then also kept tabs with Lake Travis and the Lake Travis game,
Brennan.
even though they came up short.
Awesome.
Well, I told you Brendan was going to win that one.
All right,
we're about to jump into 3AD1.
That's where we're sitting at, Adam. You want to grab? Are you in front of where you can look at the bracket, Adam?
No, all I have is 6A.
Okay, no, you're good. We'll just talk and we'll do the bracket, and then you can chime in on anything you want to talk about. All right, we'll go with 3A Division 1, Region 1. We had let's see, Whitesboro knocks off Paradise 42-14, and Brock over Bushland 51-27 as Brock continues to roll. They'll have a rematch with their district foe Whitesboro in the region final. No surprise there, really.
Yeah, that game is 7 p.m. Thursday at Denton's Collins Stadium. So they got that one scheduled.
Well, they got a Thursday game.
Okay. Yeah.
It's getting out the way. Okay.
All right, Corey, grab that Region 2.
Grab Region 2. Show some Malakoff love.
Region 2. This is what I was waiting for. Grandview takes care of Pottsboro 29-7. Big game there. We all know how Pottsboro got here. The darling of that district with Winsboro and Mount Vernon, they took control of the district, but Grandview was just a little bit too strong. If you watch the Wednesday night show of me, Brett, and Vince and Kyle, we talk about how Grandview, Kyle had this thing about how Pottsboro was better than Grandview. And we had this little debate. Grandview proved everyone wrong. Like I said, they proved everyone wrong, got the win over Pottsboro 29-7. Now, this is also the big matchup here that we were looking for, that I was looking for myself. Malakoff is just running through 62-0 over Dallas Madison, 55-10 over Winsboro. Then they take care of West 35-14. Now, if we haven't discussed this, if you haven't been paying attention, Malakoff only has one loss, and guess who's that from? That is from Grandview. So this is a matchup of you beat me once, can you beat me again? I'm taking Malakoff in this game. I know we're not doing predictions, but I'm all about taking revenge games. This is going to be a big one. Malakoff versus Grandview in this particular regional setup in Region 2.
Said Keith's got Tigers in the rematch. Love number 4.
There
Thanks,
we go.
Keith. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, so I mean, we talked about this in depth last week, and I thought that Grandview, their schedule we talked about was a little weaker, but I thought the win over Malakoff says something to me because we know how Malakoff's been playing. So I had Grandview in that one, and Malakoff both, and that's gonna be a good matchup. Do you have a location on that, Chris?
Yeah, that one is 7:30 p.m. Friday at Waxahachie's Lumpkin Stadium.
All right. That's going to be a great game. Like Corey said, a rematch. In this particular case, I think the rematch is going to go to the one that lost the first game. We'll talk about one here in a little bit that we're not going to agree with that so much. Probably. Adam, you got any insight on this bracket? Or you
on this game? I mean, I was exciting, really looking forward to Grandview Malakoff happening again because that's really grown upon us in recent years, going back to Dane Yinch's days when did it for 3 years straight in the playoffs and in the regular season. So it's good to see them back at it. I really want to go with Grandview this time because the last time they played each other in a rematch, defeated Grandview to get the revenge. But I think this time Grandview won't allow that to happen and beat them twice.
all right.
Well, I'm a fan of Grandview just because their helmets. They've got the coolest helmets, period. The Bengals stripes in black and white.
Oh, is it kind of like the Bengals zebra jerseys?
Yeah, but it's interesting because they copied the helmets, right? The Grandview copied the Bengals helmets, but made them black and white, and now the Bengals have copied Grandview's to do the black and white.
I like the helmets. Best helmet in the team. Best helmet in the playoffs thus far.
Oh,
I like them.
Love it.
All right, let's move up to Region 3. We got Columbus over Cameron Yo, 48-14, and Franklin all over Hitchcock, 53-18. It sets up a regional final of Franklin Columbus.
Nice.
Kind of surprising.
Yeah,
Cameron Yo got beat that bad. I thought that would be a little bit closer game. You know, they're usually the Yeomen have been pretty solid, but Columbus is going to get their chance at Franklin.
Yeah, I was expecting a Cameron Yo victory there and looking forward to Franklin versus Yo, but it looks like Columbus versus Franklin might be a good one too. But
yeah, Columbus had different plans.
Yeah, exactly. But Franklin's still pretty darn tough. It's gonna be hard for anybody to get by them.
Yeah. Well, all right, Chris, you want to grab Region 4?
Yeah, I do.
It's a tough one for you. I know this may be a painful score to read off.
We talked about that last night.
It is. My Industrial Cobras, my alma mater, they lost. I did not pick them to win, and if there are any Cobra fans listening, I'm sorry. This was a tough team for them to match up against. Llano beat them 42-17 to move on to the Region 4 final against Edna, who knocked off Blanco 36-22. So Edna's still, on a nice schedule to, I don't know, a lot of people preseason were saying state. So they still have to get by Franklin and apparently Llano. But Edna's looking solid.
Yeah, I think this is a funny one too because I don't know what y'all watch this live scoreboard show every week on Bali Sports, but this is Ashley Pickles' alma mater is Llano, and so she gives Greg Tepper a hard time on the show about Llano, and so I'm sure it's going to be interesting on their little show this week as Llano continues to win, and because I think he gave her a hard time for picking that one. And I think she picked them to win the region. So looks like she might have a chance at that one.
Yeah,
she might.
I don't know.
So, but yeah, I still think. I mean, I don't know if there's a certain. I know Brock is one that everyone likes, and Franklin.
Yeah.
But I would be surprised if that Grandview Malakoff winner is does some damage here in this bracket too, because that's a tough matchup in that region. So
Well, come state, I am so looking forward to this game because whether it's, you know, heck, Edna, Franklin, Grandview, Malakoff, Brock, any of those are all great schools and great traditions. So that's going to be a blast.
yeah, there's got a lot of good teams left. That's for sure. All right, we're gonna move up to 4A. Adam, you got anything else that you want to add? You good?
No, yeah.
All right, we'll go to 4A Division 2.
All right, hey, before we jump into 4A Division 2,
Okay.
let me do a reminder
Oh yes.
that if I can shut off my there. God, I can't get it shut off. Our Black Friday sale is still going on. I know it's not Black Friday anymore. It is going on through the weekend, though. Black Friday sale at boardgamelegends.com, where you can play the greatest teams of all time against each other based on their actual stats. Friday Night Legends is a game that is nothing but high school football teams. Saturday Legends does the same thing, but it's with some of the greatest college football teams of all time. Basketball Legends, our newest game, does all levels of basketball. You can play some of the great high school basketball matchups, college basketball matchups, professional basketball, women's basketball, Olympic basketball. We've got it all in there. And these games are 50% off if you go to boardgamelegends.com. Use the code BF22. It'll take 50% off right then. And you can get it in time for Christmas and be like the coolest guy ever for giving the coolest gift ever. That's it at boardgamelegends.com. All right, now we can jump up there.
All right, 4A Division 2. We've got like one game that hasn't been played yet. We got Monahans and Godley will be played today at 4 p.m. The winner of that one will take on Glen Rose as they knock off Hershey 45-20. And I know a lot of us talked about Hershey, being possibly a favorite coming out of that bracket, but Glen Rose had other ideas.
Other plans, I see. That's disrespectful. I was going for Hershey too.
All right, Corey, you want to grab Region 2?
I will definitely grab Region 2. All right, so we got Aubrey, of course, last week took on Center 43-41. I preface that by saying this. Of course, the barely win theory was completely in effect this week. They barely beat Center, took 4 overtimes. They played against a very well-coached Pleasant Grove team, another East Texas darling. They got beat 37-14. And the biggest matchup of the day, this was played on Valley Sports. Kilgore versus Carthage. There is no love lost at all between these two schools.
Gilmer.
I'm sorry. Gilmer versus Carthage.
I know you're excited about that Kilgore matchup. It's
I want to
okay.
get too far ahead. I want to get too far ahead. Gilmer versus Carthage. Of course, this was played on Valley Sports. Big time football, 28-7. Carthage over Gilmer. Surprise, surprise. And then, of course, these two teams are going to square off next week. They're not strangers of either one another either. So Pleasant Grove versus Carthage. I don't know if this has been tabbed yet as a site.
Yeah. Yes, it has. 7 p.m. Friday at Marshall's Maverick Stadium.
That's the one. That's the one I saw in Marshall.
Great location. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting. That Gilmer game with Carthage was a lot closer than the score indicated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
they were in that game in the second half.
Yes.
Couple like a turnover. I think Carthage got an interception there, ran it back close to the scoring, and then they punched it in. We were watching this game at halftime of our broadcast, and they went up 21-7 at that point. And then of course Carthage added another touchdown at the end. But shout out to Gilmer. They played Carthage tough. I mean, I think that Pleasant Grove is going to be interesting because, we all know that Pleasant Grove has, they're going to be a big team and well coached, but this Carthage,
a big
man,
defensive line.
Yeah.
Pleasant Grove.
You think Pleasant Grove has a chance though?
if
You know,
Carthage
I
plays the way
do
Carthage,
understand
if they play a good, clean game, I think Carthage, if
Yeah.
Carthage makes mistakes and doesn't play a clean game, I think Pleasant Grove has a chance.
I think Pleasant Grove has a puncher's chance. Pleasant Grove is not bad. They've been beating a lot of people this year, and they
Yeah,
kind of
it's a
been
good
flying on the
program.
radar. Very good program. Of course, we already know that the head coach, the defensive coordinator from Pleasant Grove is at Kilgore. That was there for years. So they're not
Mhm.
lacking anything at all on the defensive end. But Pleasant Grove and Kilgore, that's a matchup that East Texas knows very well. That's going to be very competitive. So that score 28-7 looks kind of familiar the next week too. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 28-21 or something like that. So it's
Right.
gonna be a good game.
Well, and you're not going to have Pleasant Grove is not going to be intimidated by that Red Sea
No,
across the way
no,
because they've been there before.
no.
Yeah.
All of
It's
these
not going to be
schools
one of
know each
those.
other. Every that's the thing about it. Gilmer, all those schools know each other. They played each other multiple times for something that was just not just district. So they know each other very well. These are both programs that are going to come. Their communities are going to come out, and this is going to be big football, big boy football. So
All right. Well, let's roll up to Region 3. We've got Silsbee over Madisonville 60-21. So Silsbee's going to take on Cuero as they knocked off
hmm,
Hampshire Fannett 39-14. As Chris gives everyone a good look at his shirt there.
Oh, that was
Got
accidental. No.
got his Cuero shirt. I assume that's who you're going with in this next matchup,
I
Chris.
am. I actually got this shirt a couple years ago from Coach Mark Reeve when he was there, and I grew up here, so that I love that program. They have the tools. They're very young. They could screw it up, so depends on who shows up. If the Cuero shows up that I see, I think they can hang. But man, Silsbee's tough.
Yeah, they're going to be real fast and athletic.
Yeah.
Silsbee's going to be. I honestly think that this region has the best chance to match up with Carthage out of who's left. Now, I know you've got Wimberley down there that you also think is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
And I think that's just time will tell on that one. We'll see when they get up to play another region game. I think their region is not as strong.
Mhm.
So once they get out of their region, we'll see how well Wimberley stacks up against the other teams. And it may be where they just stack up really well with them. But it's just hard
Yeah.
to tell when they haven't played anybody outside of that region.
But Wimberley in that region, I think, is head and shoulders above the
Yeah.
rest of them.
Yeah,
So I think they have a great shot. It's a shame that whether it's hopefully Wimberley. I guess we should go ahead and do the scores in Region 4.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wimberley knocks off Gerald 64-6. Lago Vista took care of business against Geronimo Navarro 27-7. That sets up Wimberley versus Lago Vista. That's going to be Friday at 7:30, Hutto's Memorial Stadium. I tell you, both of those are just such good programs. I lived in Wimberley for 6 years, so I've got a lot of Wimberley shirts I could have wore today. But man, I tell you, it's a shame. There's so many good programs that, including up there in Carthage's half of the bracket. It's a shame somebody has to go home, but we're going to be losing some really good teams.
Yeah, we're down to the final 8 in all these brackets. I mean, if you're still playing at this point, what is it? If you're playing in December, you've had a good season. If you're playing, usually if you're practicing during Thanksgiving, you'd call that pretty good. But if you're playing in December, you've had a pretty good season as well. So I think it's going to be Wimberley, Carthage. It's a toss up with that one. I think Silsbee and I think Glen Rose is who I think the final 4 will be. I think Cuero Silsbee may be the best matchup of the 4 games, just because I think they're a lot closer as far as the 2 teams. I may be wrong, but I think Glen Rose, Carthage, and Wimberley are pretty much the favorites in those other 3 matchups.
Do you think anybody has a shot against Carthage, though?
if Carthage plays the way Carthage can, I don't think anybody touches them. I think the only way they're going to if the defense can force Carthage into some mistakes, they could stay with them. It's just so tough because they're well coached and they've been there. Oh, Eddie's with us today. Eddie,
Yeah,
Eddie.
Eddie's gonna like me. Eddie's about to like me right now. I'm gonna say this, and y'all know how crazy I get sometimes. If anybody's gonna beat Carthage right now, is a chance. PG has been playing some pretty good football as of late. If
Yeah.
somebody's going to beat Carthage, it's going to be PG.
Yeah, we
If
held
they get
Aubrey that was averaging 48 points to 14 points.
Yeah, if PG, if anybody's going to be Carthage, it's going to be East Texas School, and PG's got the pedigree to do it. It's got to be a perfect game plan to get it done. And right now, if they don't beat Carthage, I don't think anybody's going to beat Carthage. Carthage is going to roll. So this is the toughest two games Carthage to me is going to have to play against and get out of there and possibly win state. But PG has the opportunity to do that, and I think it's going to have to be the cleanest game they play. That, of course, we're talking about, Carthage beating Gilmer by 21 points. That's the closest anybody's played it with Carthage all year. So, surprise, surprise. I think PG has the pedigree to do it. I think they're big up front. I think they're very well coached. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, that's what Eddie says, too. He says the winner of the state championship will come out of Region 2. That's kind of what we've been talking about.
Hands down. He is discounting a lot of teams.
Hey, you'll come and find out. Eddie is a PG homer. So he will.
I love it.
That's great. Hey, he's going to have his numbers, though. He's already given us numbers about the average points per game. Eddie is a numbers guy. He always gives us great numbers, so we appreciate him. Adam, you got any comments on this bracket? I know you're kind of sideways. Can you hear us? No, I think he might be frozen. Maybe having some cell service problems.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I think I like Eddie's prediction. I do think that it's going to come out of that bracket. I think it's going to end up being Carthage, but Pleasant Grove's got a chance. Like Corey said, I don't discount that at all. I think it's going to be interesting to see who comes out of the right side of the bracket between Wimberley, Cuero, and Silsbee. I think that would probably be the next. No offense to Glen Rose, but I don't think they're in Carthage's area. I think they're just going to be too much.
Yeah, and I don't know. It would, being from this region, this area of the state, whether I lived in Central Texas or along the Gulf Coast, personally, I would love to see Wimberley return to a title game. I'd love to see Cuero return. Great programs, great people up and down, the chart with them. Not even the athletes, just the administrations, everybody.
Adam, can you hear us now? I think you can hear us.
Yeah, I don't think so. Adam's having some connection issues.
Yeah, but I think any of those matchups will be a good matchup. And again, I think that's why they line them up. You can't guarantee anything until the matchups are lined up. All right, we want to move on to 4A Division 1?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 4A Division 1. We got Region 1. We have Wichita Falls over Brownwood, 41-19, and that'll set up a matchup with Decatur as Decatur rolls over Randall, 41-0. A little surprise there that Brownwood got knocked off. That's going to set up a District 4 rematch with Wichita Falls and Decatur. How shocked were y'all that Brownwood got beat?
Scale of 1 to 10, I'd say that was about a 7, 8 maybe.
Right.
It was surprising to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a surprise. I think, unfortunately, for the winner of that region, they're going to run into a buzzsaw in Region 2. Corey, you want to?
Well, let me just say their matchup for Wichita Falls versus Decatur. That's 7 p.m. Friday at Denton's Collins Stadium. So they're going to Denton to play.
Denton, okay.
Yeah, Decatur's not a pushover. They've been playing very well. So shout out to Decatur for that.
Yeah, this next bracket's going to be an interesting final there. Corey, you want to do the scores in Region 2?
Absolutely. So China Springs takes on Lake Worth, and they don't stand a chance. So they beat Lake Worth 41-7. But the Giant Killers, should I say, Anna, you beat Stevensville the week before. The barely win theory was tested. They took on Salina, beat Salina 27-24. Anna versus China Springs.
Is the barely win theory in effect again?
And well, it can't be this week. However, I'm going with Anna.
I think so. Right now, they're a team of destiny. I'm afraid to pick against Anna for anything. It doesn't matter. They can run for office, and I'm not picking against them.
You beat Stevensville and Salina. That's what, 10 championships apiece? 10 championships combined?
Right.
11 to 12?
I would say that's battle test. They beat Salina twice this year.
Yeah.
And if they were to knock off the defending state champion China Springs, that would be a trifecta win. That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
I think that game's going to be good. Where's that game going to be played, Chris? You have that one?
I don't have the location for that yet.
That's going to be a good one. This region's tough.
Yeah.
The question is, when they get out of this region beating each other up, are they going to have anything left? Is the main question.
There's a lot of strong teams in the other half of that bracket.
There definitely is. And we'll move over there and talk about Region 3 as the game I was at covering last night. Chapel Hill with a come-from-behind win over Lumberton. Chapel Hill down 17-0 at halftime. Came out and put 35 points on Lumberton in the second half and was able to take the win. And they'll meet up against district rival Kilgore as that Kilgore knocked off another district opponent, Lindale, 63-37. And that game will be at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium here in Tyler, 7 p.m. on Friday. Eddie says hats off to CH. They overcame their turnovers. Thanks, Eddie. We appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it was very interesting. The game, it just looked like Chapel Hill was not ready. Like they came out kind of flat, uninspired, not like they have played the last several weeks. And the turnovers were there, but it really wasn't turnover. Just they didn't play very well. And Wimberley came out to play. There was rain the entire game. It was misty. Kind of went from mist to light rain pretty much the entire way. And I was impressed with Wimberley's passing attack. They were able to still throw the ball around. I say Wimberley. I'm Lumberton. Got me talking about Wimberley a while ago.
No, Lumberton's okay. You just say some nice things about Wimberley randomly. That's
Lumberton's passing attack was very impressive. Chapel Hill has not seen a whole lot of passing teams like to pass first, and so that was interesting. I was impressed with their offensive line. They were able to protect their quarterback very well the first half because Chapel Hill's pass rush is pretty strong, that front seven. It finally wore out, and they were able to make some dents in the second half, and that's what made the difference. That Blue Storm defense holding Lumberton to 2 field goals in the second half, that was the difference.
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of tea leaves about the officiating in the game. Let me tell you something. That wouldn't. No. Officiating wasn't the biggest issue in the game. Listen, hats off to Lumberton. They are a very good football team. Big, strong. They came very prepared to play. They stopped playing. I don't know if the game plan changed. I don't know if they played conservative in the second half. But you're up 17-0 against a team that scores pretty quickly. Chapel Hill outscored them very well in the second half, and they outscored them 35-6. So I don't know if you can blame it on officials or not, but you had a 92-yard touchdown run from for Ricky Stewart. Then you had a couple of plays. Chapel Hill defense played very well in the second half, but no less, shout out to Lumberton. They came to play in the first half. They just didn't play 4 quarters of football. So that's my analogy for it. And of course, I'm a Chapel Hill guy, but I'm not going to be partial to him. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I don't think the officiating. I think the officiating was, we had more penalties than they did. So, I'm just going to tell you straight up. But the second half was the tail of the tape. You gave up 35 points in the second half. You're not going to win many games. You do that. So you
Yeah, and
got to
their
score.
defense has only been allowed about 10 per game as well. So that's impressive. We'd like to welcome Mark Henry today to join us. Welcome,
Hold on.
Mark.
Man, what's going on, fellas? Man, sorry for the delay. I'm kind of on the road. Had a little situation on Thanksgiving, but I'm on my feet. I'm good.
No, you're
That's all
good.
right.
You're good. We're talking
Yeah.
4A Division I bracket right now. You got any insight on
Okay.
anything going on there?
I think Chapel Hill's stronger than I thought they were. Lumberton was a team that I was really high on. That they had there, Gabriel Hernandez. He was committed to Lamar. I think he up that offensive line and defensive line was very strong for those guys. Little speed on the out type team, and I was in the comments last week watching the show from work, and a little stronger, but that just tells me that Chapel Hill's stronger than I thought they was. I didn't know a lot about Lindale, which I thought was going to be a pretty close game. Sets up a match of two East. Lindale, I think they got the state a couple years ago. Was a team that had came out of nowhere, but I think Chapel Hill coming out of Region 3.
Nope. I think he may have froze.
Yeah, he lost him a little bit. Eddie said, "How'd the linebacker from Lumberton look like?" I think it. Yeah, he had a couple of big plays. Very impressive. He's a big kid. I think he was number 0. He made a couple of big plays. It was also classy. I saw after the game he took a picture with Demetrius Brisbane, the Chapel Hill quarterback. I guess they know each other from something. They took a picture together. I thought that was
the kids are playing.
I thought that was real classy of
Good game, good
Lumberton
competitive
player.
game. Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, I did want to mention while Mark is frozen there that he is the host of our show Third Coast Gridiron and a co-host of the show The Top Texas Prospects. He does a ton with recruiting, and he's the guy to talk to when you want to know who's who and who people are paying attention to. You're back, Mark.
Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, did I lose you guys? Okay.
Yeah.
Also, a strong 4A D1 is Decatur, a team that nobody's talking about, as well as Wichita Falls. But something that's looks like they broke through and got to the next Friday at Denton. And so, strong 4A D1. Strong 4A D1. I don't know a lot about the guys in Region 4. Oh, well, Borney's a team that's usually pretty strong, and Corpus Christi, Cal Allen, and their historical.
Well, let's read through those scores real quick.
Yeah, we've got.
Go ahead. Jump over to Region 4. I'll do it. Bernie took care of Port Lavaca Calhoun. The Cinderella story came to an end after losing 7 straight. They go on to win 5 straight and are showing up here in the top of the region. Bernie corrected all of that, sent the Sand Crabs home 51-0. The other teams in the bracket, Corpus Christi, Cal Allen continues to roll. They took care of Somerset 31-17. That's going to face Bernie versus Cal Allen, both sitting at 13-0. Somebody's must go 7:30 p.m. Friday at San Antonio's Alamo Stadium. That's going to be a good one. And I think, like you said, Mark, I think Bernie is a lot tougher than a lot of people know.
I think so, but Cal Allen's got history on their side with the legendary coaches they have. It has that mystique. They kind of travel with it. So,
yeah,
you have a reputation there that with those guys. But, I know that Bernie Champion has been a team coming out of Bernie in that area. But Region 4 is Region 4 in all of these brackets, around the love that they should.
Mm-hmm.
Corpus Christi, Cal Allen's one of those teams, and I'm sure you've got in the 2A ranks. Those teams in that area come with, a legendary status. For guys like us, know that you have to keep one eye on that region because ones in Region 3 gets all the limelight and publicity, but Region 4 is nothing to sleep on. Whoever comes out of this game has a direct ticket, to punch the Jerry World.
Right. Mark, I'm gonna drop a few names on you here. I know we talk about Chapel Hill Alive with some homers. Trevor Brooks, he needs to be on somebody's radar. He is a sophomore. I don't even know what position. Linebacker, free safety. He can play. He probably play running back, quarterback. The kid has made play after play after play. Had a huge strip sack last night, and it was tremendous. He should be on somebody's radar. Put him on your radar, and make sure you look out for him. He is a player. I don't say that much, but he is
Yeah,
a ball.
Yeah, he's one of the sophomores that doesn't. You've got Demetrius Brisbane, the quarterback, and Ricky Stewart, the tailback. Get a lot of looks around. They've got a lot of offers already, but there's some other guys in that group. And Corey's right. Trevor Brooks is one of those guys. He has that it. He's a ball hawk. He can find that ball and he makes big plays. So I don't know if you've got anybody else that that know about off Chapel Hill that you've kind of got in your recruiting radar.
Chance to see Chapel Hill. I know historically that Chapel Hill, anything coming out of East Texas, you could throw talent. But a lot of times, the way I look at recruiting and the way I look at the prospect from the bottom up, if you will, I'm going to see the 4 and 5 star, but that guy that doesn't get that love, that's the owner. It's not a discovery thing. It's just trying to get them, that exposure. Something that they can do to get on the maps early. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of definitely. I know. I will say this with the score that I saw from the game, and Lombard still has some traction. They're the real deal.
Yeah.
Nice. Any other comments on 4AD1 before we jump up to 5AD2?
Adam, you got anything for us? Can you hear us?
Change my location to get better service.
Oh, good.
There we are. Do
Yeah.
you have any comments on 481 before we move on?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. We'll jump up to 5A Division 2. All right. 5A Division 2. All right, we'll go start from Region 1. We've got a game today. We got Canutillo and Wiley. That game's at 3 p.m. The winner of that game will take on Argyle as they knock off Grapevine 44-27. So no surprise there as Argyle continues to roll. I like possibly in a Wiley Argyle matchup myself there.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one.
It's Argyle again.
That's Corey's team. If anyone didn't know that, that's Corey's team is Argyle.
Well, Argyle's another name that rings around in Hallows and Africa.
Right.
Nice. Well, let's jump over to Region 2. And I tell you, I have been predicting the demise of South Oak Cliff for weeks now.
Well,
They just keep winning, though.
Hey,
Overtime win.
did you see the game, Chris? Did you see any of it?
I did not see any of this game, no.
We actually, when we got set up at the stadium, we got to tune in. This game was towards the end, and South Oak Cliff had the ball at the end of the game. Ended up turning the ball back over to at the very end to whoever they played it. I went blank there for a second. Midlothian.
Yeah.
And they threw an interception. Midlothian ran down and they actually were able to get them out of bounds before they scored. And then went to overtime. And South Oak Cliff held them and then punched it in. And it's one of those things, like you said, until someone can knock them off, you got to roll with them, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I tell you,
they have
like
that.
I said, I've been picking them to go home for weeks. But they just keep winning.
I mean, it's just something that they've just played around with some of these games, and you thought that they would be out or they'd get down, but you played around with somebody so many times that eventually it's going to get you. It just hadn't gotten them yet.
Yeah, that's true.
What's up, Craig? Thanks for joining us, man. Hope you enjoyed that game last night. Then I was going to try to catch up with you, but I didn't get over there to talk to you. It was a pretty good one down there in New Caney. Let's see. We got somebody's giving you good props on your shirt there, Chris. Lorne Lorne Spears.
Yeah.
You're sporting that beautiful gobbler shirt. Go Mean Green.
Yeah, let me finish this region here. South Oak Cliff, like I said, knocked off Midlothian Heritage 33-27 in overtime. Melissa took care of Terrell 42-20. That's going to put South Oak Cliff and Melissa 7:30 Friday at Arlington's Choctaw Stadium. That should be a good one too.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if Melissa has the magic dust to knock off the champ.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
that's
I'm
a
afraid
tall
to pick
task.
now.
That's a tall task because South Oak Cliff's defense is probably one of the better ones in the state. Got guys that are going to play Division I ball. Got Billy Walton coming out on the outside. Manny Muhammad, who's one of the top 2 or 3 cornerbacks in the country, University. But the thing about South Oak Cliff is they're hitting their stride. The thing that about is the return of Javon Thomas, the Texas A&M commit. He's a shot in the arm for those guys most of the year. When he came back last week against Lovejoy, it was like, I was at that game, when you come home for homecoming or something, or, somebody's coming back from, and, if you saw the Marvel, or not Marvel, but DC comic movie when Superman they came from the ashes, and he solidified that offense. Also, the quarterback, William Little, if you look at the last 2 weeks, and I got to give credit to the coaching staff. Coach Tuck know what they're talking about. They scheduled these difficult games at the beginning, the Duncanville row.
Right.
Of
and seeing those games is the reason I saw some chinks in their armor, and I thought, okay, it's over. But you're right. They figured it out. They're catching their stride.
Well, what? And I've had a chance to listen to Coach Tuck, be around him, and listen to the coaching staff coming through those games. I was at the Duncanville game, and we're a quarterback away most of the time from getting this done. The offensive continuity just wasn't there. Also have to realize the importance of the development of Kevin Henry Jennings, the SMU quarterback now. And they had 2,000-yard backs in Hollywood and Farrar that both went to play, one at UNT and one at Pitt State. Take away those 3 guys to go along with it, but just now hitting their stride. This is championship culture that they built over there. This is the championship formula. Now you see it on paper in the play.
We may be losing him. That may be a good opportunity to move on. Eddie's comment here, saying Fort Bend Marshall in Region 3 is going to be the one to beat. Yeah, that's what I've been saying from day one. That they are the one to beat.
And he's got some good stats for us. Says they've only given up 6.3 points a game, top in 5A Division II, and no one is even close. So that's that's
Marshall's tough.
And speaking of them, they knocked off Lake Creek 55-18. They'll face P&G as Port Neches Grove gets to win 38-28 over Brenham. So that'll be an interesting matchup because P&G's been putting up a lot of points. Yeah. And so we'll see if they can put up points against Fort Bend Marshall. That's going to be an interesting one, another rematch.
Yeah, that game, Marshall and PNG, is going to be Friday at Galena Parks ISD Stadium. So, some great football in the Houston area as usual.
Yeah, Fort Bend Marshall is one of those teams that when you go back to, it seems like over, but you talk about team speed, they have one of the best, usually sprint relays in the nation, not just in Texas, on a routine basis. And that's what you're getting here, and they're physical up front. They're just going to be a handful to Creek came into that game undefeated, if I'm not mistaken, and had been rolling all year. For them to hold them, say something about those guys defensively. Now PNG is historically been state, and they seem to, this is the round, the next round that they usually kind of kick the bucket and don't make it. Yeah, Chris, lots of good football, and we haven't even got to the 6A ranks
Right.
in the Houston.
Right.
Absolutely. Chris, you want to grab Region 4?
Yeah, I'll do that. Hold on. Click here. Region 4. 5A. Liberty Hill knocked off Alamo Heights. The Mules were just rolling along and looking like they were going to make a big push for the San Antonio area, but Liberty Hill took care of them 37-32. Corpus Christi Flower Bluff against San Antonio Veterans Memorial. That one's being played today. Starts in just under an hour. So you're basically going to see Liberty Hill waiting on the winner of Flower Bluff and Vets Memorial. Still, it's going to be tough for Region 4 to overcome anything from Region 3.
Yeah.
Liberty Hill's a program that's out the cliff in the championship last year.
Mm-hmm.
I saw those guys. That's a team's old school option offense. This is kind of a triple option set, but they're quick on the offensive line. That's probably going to be maybe 200 to 215 pounds, maybe 5'10" or so. But they run offense, and the catalyst for that is Noah Long. He's a running back. He's a junior, 5 pounds. I had a chance to see him at a couple of camps and get to know him very well. After he almost single-handedly beat South Oak Cliff last year. He returns kicks, and he's the bell. So expect Liberty Hill to possibly make an appearance back in the state championship. Not anything against Liberty Hill. They've been there, done that. It seems like they get hot late in the year. You got to for that. You know, we see a lot of spread passing games and stuff. When the run game is, it's a recipe for success, and that's what Liberty Hill brings to the table.
Well, and I think that's why, if you look back at Port Lavaca Calhoun, that's why they were so successful, was because they were running that option, and it stymies a lot of people. Back in my day, that was normal, but now it's weird to see that. So, defenses aren't used to it.
Well, if you don't play sound defense and read your keys well, and that leaves gaps and openings for cutback lanes and things like that. And these guys take advantage of it because you're on a regular basis. You only get a few days to prepare for this. If you don't have time to get that done and place for a while, that's a tough sell to guys that, we're talking about soul that may not have the discipline to be disciplined and stay in one spot. Set the edge, these guys right up underneath you. And then they run it like a no-huddle offense type setup.
Yeah, and none of these teams get an opportunity to see that during the season. This is probably the only time they will see that all season.
Eddie's got a comment here on Liberty Hill. Liberty Hill has one of the top offenses in 5A Division II at 53.3 points a game. So and it's possible you could see a defense versus offense matchup there if Liberty Hill wins and Fort Bend Marshall wins. That would be an interesting matchup.
Right, and what he's saying about the point total point differential game, that tells you anything.
Well, I say we vote Eddie as our official statistician.
Right, he definitely is. He's on the stats.
Bring it on.
All right,
bring it on.
We love the stats. We appreciate it. He's a loyal follower here. All right, let's go to 5A Division 1. We'll start with Region 1. We've got Centennial over Abilene 24-14. And Aledo over Midlothian 27-21. So that sets up a district rematch between Aledo and Centennial in Region 1.
Nice. That's 2 p.m. Saturday, Frisco's Ford Center.
Well, this is a matchup of, like you said, of district foes. So it's going to be a thing of they'll be familiar with each other. But if you know anything about it, be physical. Up front and the defensive side. Hawk Patrick Daniels is a run make the switch at the beginning of the year. If you know about Aledo,
Oh, we may be losing him again.
Oh, we lost him again there. We got Miss Pat's Must saying hello. Shout out to Miss Basama. She's one of our followers that are on our show. We got Christopher Bates. Oh, he's here to get his crow from the Hooks. Chris, you're a little late. Hey, tune in on Wednesday night when Kyle's here, so he can make sure he gets that crow to you. Chris is one of our Hooks listeners, and Kyle covered the Hooks Harmony game last week, and they were giving him a hard time about that. So come see us on Wednesday night, Chris. Kyle will be back with us.
Yeah, we still don't got you, Mark.
Mark's talking to himself. Man, I'm sure he's got some really good information that he's talking. He's not sharing with us. He's all keeping it to himself. Corey, you want to grab Region 2 while we try to get Mark on?
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. We have Region 2, 5A, Division 1, Region 2. Mansfield, 28, Reading, 26. So that Mansfield team took care of business as usual. And then, of course, Longview, the East Texas Darling, the big 5A school in East Texas, took care of Port Arthur Memorial, 51-7. So Mansfield versus Longview, I don't have a site here for it, but surprise, surprise, Longview advances. And
yeah, I have the site. That's 7 p.m. Friday at Mesquite's Memorial Stadium. So another one. Two teams 13-0. Somebody's O must go.
Right. It's probably not going to be Longview.
I think Longview moves on there.
Yeah, Longview's rolling right now.
Uh-oh. Paul Hull, is he giving you a hard time here, Chris? Do you know Paul?
I think so. Yeah, Lano is just handling it. Yeah, if you go back after this is done, you can go back and replay. We covered that earlier, but yeah, they are. They're rocking and rolling.
That's a hurtful. That's hurtful, Chris. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's disrespectful. That's what you got to say.
Yeah. All right, let's go over here to Region 3. We've got College Station with a big win, 52-28 over Georgetown. That'll set up a matchup with Smithson Valley. As Smithson Valley gets the win over Forsythia, 31-13. So Smithson Valley, College Station, Region 3 final.
Nice, and that one's going to be at Pflugerville's The Field, spelled PF.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Adam, you've been quiet. You got any thoughts down there?
For Region 3, this region, I mean, going this far, if you're putting up 40 points and deep into the playoffs, I think you're very, very impressive. Now, Smithson Valley is still dominating but I think College Station is really the strong suit here. That'll be a great one to see College Station, make it back as far as they can, after the last year.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if they can. They lost their running back early in the season, and so if they could make it back without him, that's going to be very impressive. Mark, we got you now. Can you hear us? See if we got. We can't hear you yet, Mark.
No, not yet.
I think Adam, do you have any other thoughts on the other parts of the bracket that we went over here? This Region 1 or Region 2 as well?
I mean, Region 2, I think for Longview to come out and make it to that state title game. I'd love to see them at AT&T. And then I really want to see Burris and Centennial take down Alito and shock the world.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. I like you're in good hands here. We're Longview is our East Texas team, so if you're going with Longview, we like that.
So let's look at Region 4. Corpus Christi Vets Memorial, 49 over McAllen, 14. And then the other Valley team, PSJA North, continues to win. You don't see Valley teams getting this far that often. they took care of another Valley team, Brownsville Vets Memorial, 35-15. That means Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial versus PSJA North Saturday at Corpus Christi's Buck Stadium. So
they're playing a
yeah,
home game?
it's almost a home game. There's several stadiums in Corpus Christi, but it's pretty darn close to home.
Okay. Well, that's about to say Corpus Christi is pretty much a home game.
Yeah.
Derek's with us. What's up, Derek? Thanks for joining us today, Derek. Do we have Mark? Maybe
Now we're back.
Now we're back.
All right. Well, Mark, we've gone over this bracket here. Do you have anything you want to add to it? The 5A Division I bracket. Well, and he's gone again.
And like that, he's gone.
I scared him with that question, I guess.
That's right. Too much pressure.
I know how the internet can be. It can.
Yeah.
It's just it's great when it works.
Nice.
All right. Well, anybody else got anything else on 5A Division I?
Cool. Well, before we jump into 6A, I want to mention our special, once again, BoardGameLegends.com Black Friday sale, 50% off the base games. Use the code BF22 when you go on there, and it'll take half off. Good stuff. I know it says Black Friday. Today's Saturday, but it's good through the weekend. So you can play the greatest high school teams against each other based on their real stats. Play the greatest college teams against each other. Again, real stats. Same thing with basketball, all levels, you name it. Black Friday sale, www.boardgamelegends.com. Must use the code BF22. So check it out. All right, Brett, we ready to go up to 6A?
Let's do it. 6A Division II. We've got one game has yet to be played. We've got Byron Nelson and Denton Geyer play today at 2 p.m. So we'll be kicking off here shortly at the Star. And we've got South Lake Carroll with a close one over McKinney, 42-35. So possibly a Geyer South Lake Carroll matchup. If Geyer can get by Byron Nelson, would be a pretty good region final there.
Yeah, South Lake Carroll's looking strong. I mean, they're looking like they want to get back up there.
Yeah, it's I was a little surprised at the closeness of that game, though.
Yeah, me too.
But there's all those. You have to win some close ones or ones that you struggle with there eventually at some point. So maybe they got that one out of the way. Kind of like I'm hoping Chapel Hill got this one out of the way. Is that
right.
You got to win some ugly games sometimes, and if you can get by those, usually they're help you grow and get better as you go. Adam, you got any thoughts on this bracket?
For this one, I mean, I kept up with the game, and McKinney led most of the first half in that game, which really caught a lot of eyes. But South Lake Carroll, regrouped second half, and does a great job as getting his team together. I got a couple of people that cover South Lake doing a great job, and they were able to get a win. Now, whoever they play next is not going to be easy. Geyer, went neck and neck, in a shootout with. It's going to be really good to see them how they compete against Byron Nelson, but I do like to see a Geyer versus Southern final.
Awesome. And yes, Miss Basama, we already did do 4A. You can always go back and watch this on demand later. You can go back and watch this. It'll be up so you can check out what we had to say about 4A. Mark, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear?
No.
We can hear you, but it's kind of staticky.
Now.
Yeah, it's like that's a little better.
That was a little better.
Wow.
Nah, you're cutting out still.
It's kind of staticky, and then he cut out.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, you got you want to grab Region 2? DeSoto
defeated Tomball 38-14. team here in Pflugerville at the field. Rematch, that a lot of people keep an eye on, as Harker Heights defeated Decaney 63-30. That was a very decent blowout. But DeSoto and Harker Heights at 7 p.m. at McLean Stadium at Baylor. I mean, that's a high anticipated rematch from last. So took care of Harker Heights. Harker Heights. That was a lot of social say they're going to shock the world and beat DeSoto. And back then, DeSoto just went over them. I think won by. But this year, Harker Heights has improved a lot. They've been beating their opponents, and I mean everybody knows DeSoto's DeSoto. So I think that's will be a great matchup, and it's my Friday game with all these great games happening all over the state of Texas.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that one. Corey, you want to grab Region 3?
For sure, I got you. All right, let's get Region 3 out of the way. We got Katy, surprise over Summer Creek, 35-7. And then, of course, we got Fort Bend Hightower taking on the CE King Panthers. Unfortunately, Fort Bend did not win, 38-21 CE King. So we got Katy and King going against each other in NRG Stadium. That's going to be a big matchup there. NRG hosting some high school football again. That's nice.
I tell you this, I think this may be the biggest challenge Katy has is the CE King team, because they seem to come from nowhere and they just keep winning. Once they got things rolling, it's a strong squad, and you don't see that a lot from the Houston ISD teams, but it's a good one.
Could it be a Houston uprising like we had a Dallas uprising last year? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe. They got to get by Katy. That's a tall order.
Right.
Yeah, you look out there and you see that name on the jersey, and it's like, if they can get past that, then maybe they have a chance.
And they're going to play perfect ball because Coach Gary Joseph, that's his strength, is his guys execute, and they don't make mistakes. Now, they may not have the best talent every year, but because they're so well coached, they don't beat themselves. So it's a tall order, definitely.
All right. Well, you want to take Region 4, Chris, and then we'll discuss this one?
Sure. Yeah. Austin Vandegrift took care of San Antonio Harlan 49-21, and I've said it every freaking week since before the season started. Look out for Dripping Springs. These guys keep rolling. 45-0 against Harlingen. I know it was a Valley team, but come on, moving up to 6A. They're still alive. They're in the region final against Vandegrift. That'll take place Friday, 7 p.m. at Cedar Park's Gupton Stadium. I tell you, I don't see a reason why Dripping Springs isn't going to be in this half of the bracket final. As far I think they'll be playing.
Katy Dripping Springs. Yeah,
I think so.
Guys, anybody have any thoughts on this entire bracket? We're in 6A Division 2.
Austin Novosad is the quarterback at Dripping Springs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Correct.
A key move in.
Right. Elite 11 type of talent. As far as I know, he's still coming. A lot of schools knocking on his door. And he's kind of the steady end for those guys. But out of Houston, the Katy Tigers, Seth Davis, Mississippi State commit.
Well, I tell you what.
It looks like when he goes sideways, it loses him, I think.
Tell you by next week, we all need to chip in and get him better bandwidth.
hey, Chris, we need an internet sponsor for our show, so maybe
there
we
you
can
go. Yeah, good. I mean, he's got such good information.
Right, I want
the internet.
I know he's not like he's got all this information and we can't hear it. I'm disappointed.
Try this again.
Mark, you try again. And he's frozen again, I think.
No.
He's still not with us. Okay. Adam, you got anything about this bracket you want to fill us some information with?
I mean, I can go off of like I was already knowing what Mark was going to talk about. Like me and him have covered from most of these schools. Like he said, Austin Nova was sad for Dripping Springs. Great. I mean, him making it this far, taking Dripping Springs this far is going to be very interesting for Dripping Springs. Now, like you said, Chris, earlier, he was a key move-in.
Yeah.
Everybody knows now. Sutton, we might have a lot more move-ins coming from Dripping Springs. Is Dripping Springs the next, big Austin represents Austin? And then same thing with Katy. Like you said earlier, CE could be Katie's biggest test. Like I said last week, CE King has got hot at the right. Now I do think Katie's going to take this one, but I do think it's going to be a close one. Once they face each other, Region 3 versus Region 4, Katy versus Dripping Springs, my prediction. Great to see who takes who the farthest with so much tradition and controversy going around.
All right, so guys, I want to ask you a question. I'll go down the list here. Tell me which two teams are going to be in the state championships.
Are you talking about this particular bracket?
We're talking about this whole division. Which two teams will be in the state championship?
I think it's going to be South Lake Carroll and Katy. This is my prediction.
You stole my thunder, dude. That's who I totally was going to pick. What do y'all think? Corey, Adam?
I like to shock the world. I'm picking DeSoto and CE King.
Oh.
Ooh.
We know how Corey is. He's like the long shots.
Now, Corey first. DeSoto. I'm close with the media department there. They have told me this year. They said the stars are aligning this year. They went on a national schedule, played on national television.
Right.
All we got to do is just play at the state championship for the stars to align. And he said, and a lot of that coaches have said this time of year was 2016, and we all know what happened for DeSoto in 2016. So that is, I'm still stuck on Geyer. I want Geyer to make it. And I'm gonna go with Geyer versus Katy.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I would love Dripping to be there. I just don't see how.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, you ready to jump us over to D1?
Let's go for it. 6A Division 1. Region 1, we've got looks like 2 games that haven't been played yet, probably because of the weather here. We got North Crowley playing Prosper today at 3 p.m. in the top half. And then we might have a score on this one. It says 11 a.m. Keller Louisville. Possibly that one might have a score. Let me see if I can find something on that. Let's see if we can get some live score going here. Let's see. Louisville Keller. Louisville's up in the fourth quarter, 37-3 over Keller. So it's looking like Louisville's going to take that one. So they'll take on the winner of Prosper North Crowley. Mark, can you hear us again?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, we can hear you.
You can hear me?
We can.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh,
hey,
wow.
Mark, I want to give you a chance. We had just finished D2, and we each picked which 2 teams will be in the state championship. So wanted to give you a chance to weigh in on your 2.
It's most likely. I'm not denying. Then Geyer Jackson Arnold playing out of his mind right now. One is not in the country. You got Peyton Bowe and Ryan Yates on the back end. Junior.
As soon as he goes, I'm telling you, as soon as he goes sideways, it goes off. I don't know what it is.
Yep. All right. Let's keep moving on. I'm sorry.
Good. Okay. So, Corey, you want to grab Region 2?
Yeah, we can go down here, Region 2.
Eddie, I'm not sure. You said Denton Geyer and Westlake, but we're not in that one yet.
Right.
He's trying to pick his 2 teams. We were trying to pick a state championship matchup in 6A Division 2. So if you want to weigh in with us. Go ahead, Corey. Sorry.
That's all right. All right, we got Duncanville taking on the Woodlands today at 3 o'clock. That's going to be at Pflugerville Stadium. Big matchup. I'm interested in that matchup there. I might catch that game, as a matter of fact, on TV there. Of course, Waxahachie versus Spring Westfield. That's another game that's about to start here at 2 o'clock. So big games coming up. I wouldn't be surprised of Duncanville, Waxahachie, or maybe Springfield. So I'm anxious to see how that goes.
I wouldn't be surprised with any of those four.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I think Duncanville, is favorite of that particular region that's left. They're pretty battle tested, so I'd lean on Duncanville's side. But again, I think any of those four teams could come out of there. All right, we'll go up here to Region 3. We've got North Shore with the 49-21 win over Cinco Ranch. Sets up a matchup here, or district rematch with Tascasita. Tascasita wins 47-24 over Ridgeport. And I think this is kind of what we expected here.
Yeah.
Rematch. And it's good. This is going to be a good game right here. This Tascasita got a chance to get revenge here. The revenge factor could be in effect.
That game's 7 p.m. Friday at New Caney's Randall Reed Stadium. Like you said, that one will be packed. And whoever comes out of this region, man, I know they're going to have a tough go against the other half, but geez, it's going to be, man, they're going to be a solid team.
Yeah.
anxious.
Adam, you got anything for us on that one?
Region 3, the rematch we were talking about. And, I mean, it's going to be very, very well anticipated Friday game. We have to figure out what game to make attendance to. But it has a good chance at a revenge. This is what you said earlier. North Shore did struggle in the first half or first quarter, but North Shore pulled away. I'm really interested to see what Tascasita the revenge on North Shore this year or this time.
Yeah, I just don't see them getting by them. It doesn't matter if it's a rematch.
Mark, we're going to try again. Mark, can you hear us? We can't hear you.
And he's gone.
And he's gone again. All right. Just having
All right, Region 4. San Antonio Brennan, I said it last week, is going to beat Lake Travis. They did 34-17. That is a strong, and I tell you, I wouldn't have even paid attention to Brennan this year, except for our San Antonio show, air it out in the 210. He kept telling me all year, this is the best team in the San Antonio area. Do not sleep on these guys. Sure enough, they knocked off Lake Travis 34-17. Austin Westlake all over San Benito 44-7. That sets up Brennan versus Westlake Saturday at San Antonio's Alamo Dome. So they get a home game too. But it's Westlake.
I don't know that it's going to matter. Westlake
Right.
travels. They'll have plenty of fans there, and their players that they have travel. They're just that much better. I don't see Westlake having any problems getting out of this region.
Oh, I agree. I think it was a wonderful story for Brennan, but the story ends this week.
All right.
Well,
All right. So
any thoughts, Adam?
Not on Region 4. Westlake, I think, takes care of business, like we just said. This atmosphere, our biggest test would be against, like y'all said, a home game for Brennan. I ain't not gonna lie, it might be hard to play in there. It's gonna get really loud in there and keep, and with it being a dome, but I still think Westlake takes care of business.
All right, let's run through it again on who you think are going to be the two teams in the state championship.
Duncanville Westlake for me.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It's between Galena Park, North Shore, and Westlake. That's the hard decision for me. Whoever whoever wins out of those two is going to beat the other side anyway. So
Well, I'm going with your theory, Chris.
It's a
To be the
rematch.
man, you got to beat the man.
there you go. There you go.
I'm going with the rematch. I'm going with the rematch. Duncanville, North Shore. I don't know.
I would love to see that one again.
I want Duncanville to get that championship. I want him to ride off into the sunset.
Westlake looks better than they did last year.
Man, it just they do, and it's not fair. It's not fair at all. It's really not.
What do you say, Adam?
I'd have to say Bill versus Westlake as well. I think Westlake is just too dominant. 4, and then for Region 3, I don't think whoever they play, I'd love to see North Shore Westlake, but it's too good for whoever they oppose. And then West, I would love to see Duncanville win a state championship as well. But if that's the matchup, I'm going to take that one as well.
Nice. Cool. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for running through all these with me. Can't wait till next week. We'll have a much clearer picture. We'll all have some predictions that came true, and we'll all make sure to mention them, and we'll all ignore the ones that didn't come true.
Correct. Yeah.
Got some good matchups. Woo.
And
a lot of
those, and to give a shout out to our show, come catch us live Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Northeast Texas Sports Network, netsn.live. We have YouTube, Facebook, all kinds of streams out there. We'll be live at 8:30. It'll be me and Corey, Vince, and Kyle. We'll talk all things East Texas. I'm sure we'll browse around the state at some other games as well, just because it's kind of getting down to the nitpicky. There's not many teams left.
Yeah.
8 teams in each bracket left. So it's going to be a good time. We'll chat live just like this. So if you like this show, come check us out as well. And we'd love to have you.
Got a bone to pick with a few communities, so we'll be all right.
Nice. And as always, don't forget to go to LoneStarGridiron.com. We have regional shows. We have class shows. We have coaches shows. You name it. There's so many shows all week long. You'll be having tons of Texas high school football.
Lots of great content out there.
Definitely.
I mean, it's Chris and his guys that gives Chris a shout out. He's got lots of shows. Yeah. If you've got a Nick in your area, he's got a show for you there. Yeah. So, and if he doesn't, then reach out and create one. We'd love to have you.
There you go. I love it. Cool. All right. I'm going to sign off with another mention of the Black Friday sale, and then we'll catch you guys next week.
See you.
Go.
All right. Don't forget, once again, the Black Friday sale at BoardGameLegends.com. 50% off each of the base games, the basketball game, the high school football game, the college football game, you name it. 50% off just in time for Christmas. Black Friday sale, www.boardgamelegends.com. You must use the code BF22. If you don't use that code, you don't get 50% off. All right. Until next time, guys. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, Eddie, for all the amazing stats you have. Thank you, Brett, for everything you do. It's so helpful. I appreciate it, guys.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for watching today. We appreciate you.